cannot stay this way, no one will ever know. Seems like it's fantasy, why's love not this way? Go away now, pain, don't stay, come another day. Alone with my shadows, all alone at the gallows, no I've been inside. And you're searching for love and that you hope would never die. And you're keeping your eyes on the prize, but don't know why. Got this feeling, you raise your hands, raise them to the sky. Love can make you lighter than air, so that you can fly. Well, it's a natural feeling, this love, want it more and more. Well, why we can't feel this all the time? Well, I'm not really sure. Now I feel a fire, it's my heart to desire. I'll never ever turn away. And you're searching for love and that you hope would never die. And you're keeping your eyes on the prize, I'll live but don't know why. You got this feeling, you raise your hands, raise them to the sky. Love can make you lighter than air, so that you can fly. And you're searching for love, and well, and you're searching for love, and you keep searching for love, and that you hope would never die. Well, now you're searching for love, and yeah, you're searching for love, and you keep searching for love, and that you hope would never die.
All right, so you just heard some Bottoms Up right here. They're a hot band from New England, been around since about 2004, and I just so happen to have Jean Boomer Grenier on the phone right now. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How's things?
Not too bad, not too bad. Thanks for taking the time to get on the line with me tonight.
No, absolutely. Thanks for supporting us and the band. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, Brent, your bass player, got with me, I guess, a few months ago and mentioned that he was with you guys and sent me a few tracks, and I was like, this stuff kicks ass. So I threw it on the air, and people seem to dig it. I dig it. And how'd you end up getting Brent in the band?
Well, I've actually known Brent for many, many years. He lives up right now. He lives 2 exits away from me, but he used to live 3 exits away from me when I was growing up, and I've known Brent since teenage years, from his original bands that he's been in, and we've been friends for a long time. He moved down to South Carolina for a bit, or North Carolina, I think, and what ended up happening was he ended up getting a hold of me. We were chatting and stuff, and got together at NAMM, kind of reconnected, kind of hung out, and then he ended up moving back up here, so which was great.
Cool.
So when he came back up, he was looking for another band, and we just happened to need a bass player. Even though he's a drummer and a guitar player, he stepped in to play bass.
Yeah, it was weird because when I talked to him, he's like, "Yeah, I'm playing bass with these guys." I'm like, "Okay, sounds good. Whatever, man."
Well, Brent's a bad mofo, man. He's super talented. He's got great vocals. He's a great drummer. Actually, when I was started out playing drums, and like I said, I used to go watch him play, and I'm like, wow, maybe someday I'll be as good as this guy, you know. And we ended up becoming friends, and next thing I know, we're in a band together, you know, after knowing each other for probably about 30 years.
Very cool. Yeah, Brent sent me some of his original stuff a while back with him pretty much doing everything. Definitely, he's got some chops no matter what he's picking up. So.
Oh, absolutely. And And the Buddha side of the fact that he's that talented, he's a great guy. So I mean, we're really Eddie and I feel really blessed that thank God he moved back up here from North Carolina, so we could get him in the get him in the band. So that's great.
Cool. So you guys have been around since 2004. What made you want to start up something, get into the original band marketplace, if you will?
Well, we've always done the original band thing. We used to do the cover thing just to pay for the original thing. But we got 4 albums out and 4 CDs out, and we put out our first CD back in 2005, and then I think a little ways went by, and then 2011, 2014 or something like that, when our original bass player left. We kind of had the stuff in the can, and then we just recently put it out. It's on our website, so if anybody likes it, it's a little heavier than the new stuff. So we've always done it. We just recently decided not to do the cover thing anymore because, the scene around here in New England's kind of just the same old, and we got to work too hard to do that. We'd much rather do the stuff the stuff that we were doing, opening up for Judas Priest and Scorpions and, Vince Neil and some of the 80s bands like Britney Fox and, some of those are fun gigs, and we'd much rather play our stuff than to play, Man in the Box and Enter Sandman. Not that they're bad songs, but just, why do something everybody else is doing? So we just don't kind of really need to do that anymore. We had to do it at the beginning just to get the exposure for the band, but now we've tossed that aside.
I hear you. You're preaching to the choir. I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah, well, you and I and a bunch of other people that are playing American Girl, and I want you to want me, but that's that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
And again, nothing against that, because we love all those songs. We love them. That's what we grew up on. But you're not going to get anywhere or not get the appreciation of the listener if you're playing somebody else's stuff. I mean, there's 12 bands playing Pour Some Sugar on Me. Does it really matter who plays it better?
Right.
Not really.
Yeah, and I think when you're doing that kind of stuff, really, for most people, it's background music while they're drinking anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not bad. If the girls are dancing, that's not bad. But again, I guess it's not good for the soul. You'd rather have people applaud or come up to you and say, "Hey, I dig that song," than I dig the way you played that song.
Right.
That cover song. So, I think we're at the point now that we just really want the creative outlet and want to try to, push bottoms up as far as we can go, and see what happens.
So you've got a new CD out. If I'm not mistaken, it's called Everybody Rock and Roll.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is available on your website at bottomsupband.net.
Yep, it's on there. It's on Amazon, iTunes. It's on like 50 of those different download music sites. So if whatever is a favorite that somebody uses, I'm sure if you look it up, you might find it. But again, you can get it at our website, bottomsupband.net. The links are on there on the merchandise page. So, and then you can order the physical CD if you're not into the download thing and you want the real disc. We have those too.
Very cool. Yeah, I saw that like the first bunch of them are coming out autographed, which is always cool. I know a lot of collectors listen to my show, so hopefully if you're listening and there's some of those left, get on that.
Yeah, we have. I think there's like 6 left, but you know what? We can always sign some more if somebody really wants them and requests it. It's it's not a big deal,
So Everybody Rock and Roll. That's is that your 3rd or your 4th at this point?
It's the 4th one. Yeah.
Okay. I don't count well, so it is what it is.
Well, it's okay. We're musicians. As long as we can count to 4, that's all that matters.
Exactly. Unless you Dream Theater, then you got to do like 7 and 8 and stuff. It's very weird.
Yeah. Then it gets crazy. Then you got to be Portnoy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to be Portnoy or Mangini, so that's yeah.
So you guys do this yourselves, right? You're not on a label at this point?
No, we're doing it ourselves. we came close a couple times for a label thing, but there was one offer we got. It was just so bad that we just we're not going to take that. And then our original bass player left, and then we got another guy that came in, a good friend of ours, but he had been in an original band that was kind of signed, and he was kind of burnt on it, and he had kind of a bad taste in the mouth. So he just wanted to make the money to play in the cover things, and Eddie and I, the guitar player in Bottoms Up, we were just like, you know what, this is just killing us. We don't want to do that anymore. And so he ended up leaving and starting a 400 tribute band, and Eddie and I grabbed Brent because Brent's cut from the same cloth and wanted to, the creative aspect and the originals and to really rock and produce something good. So that's really what happened. And we actually did the whole recording at Brent's studio, Mojo Castle.
Oh, nice.
It kind of works out cool because all three of us have studios kind of set up. So we rehearse at my house and record everything, and do the arrangements of the songs and get everything together and, listen back and see how it goes. And Ed, the guitar player, writes a lot of the stuff at his studio, and he plays drums and he plays bass, and he brings the main stuff to us, and we come to my house and kind of tear it apart and go, yeah, this part, is great, and this part is, yeah. And then we just kind of do the arrangement, and then we go to Brent's house and we record the thing for real. So it kind of works out good.
No, it's great. And these days you see that more and more often where, every member of the band is able to do some of that stuff themselves. Like I do all my guitar parts here in my studio, and
sure.
It just makes it so much easier.
It is, and it's quicker.
Yeah,
it's quicker and less expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't feel like, oh man, that solo is good enough. I don't want to spend another $50 an hour.
Well, exactly, or get the phone call. Yeah, hey. Studio B's open from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. Come on in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nothing like playing guitar at like 2 a.m. When you're not expecting to.
Yeah.
But, so
absolutely.
So you mentioned you guys open for a lot of national acts, which is awesome, and I think that's kind of the way to go for the original bands getting into the scene. Do you guys doing any touring at all, or just individual gigs, pretty much?
Right now, we're just since we just put the CD out, we're not really doing any tours. We're just waiting. We're basically letting the CD kind of get out there, the tunes get out there, get the hype going, and we're probably doing some one-off shows. We got some stuff booked. I know it sounds too far away, but we got some stuff booked in 2018. But hopefully by the end of the summer and the fall, we've been in rehearsals, really just banging out the old stuff so Brent can catch up with the stuff that he didn't play on, and then obviously working out the new stuff live and putting the sets together and stuff. So hopefully by the end of August we'll be ready to go, and I'm sure some shows will come in, and we'll probably do some one-offs here and there around New England and stuff, and then see where it goes, But I'm sure, we'd love to hit the road. I know that.
Yeah, I hear you. So how's the scene out there?
It's got to be worth it, though.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and finding a gig where it actually is worth it to go on the road. I mean, because being on the road is a little tough.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting paid for it on top of that, it gets a little rough.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, but the scene up here, it's honestly, it's not like it used to be. I mean, it's still here, but it's more of the cover scene is more of what's happening. When back in the 80s, the Boston scene was really happening. It was big. Obviously we like bands like Extreme and some of the bands that came out. There was a couple other local Boston bands that did well, that got on a label, and then as soon as Nirvana put out Nevermind, everything crashed.
Sure.
And some of them made it, and then obviously the Seattle thing happened, and now there's a scene in Vegas and there's one in Florida. But Boston's really not. It's not like it used to be. I mean, you go play at the Hard Rock Cafe, and everybody's like, "Hey, that's great. You're playing the Hard Rock Cafe," and you're like, "Yeah, well, yeah, 14 people showed up." So that doesn't. It's just because it's nobody really cares that much up here. I mean, there's still rock fans, but it's not like it used to be.
No, and I think that's
So
there's a lot of that going on in the States. It seems to be a little bit better in Europe and Sweden. People
yeah,
seem to be a little bit more loyal to going out to see their original bands that they like. But
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole thing. Is I mean, right now, unfortunately, the United States is kind of is kind of more of a pop country and R&B. That's basically the state of music here. And I was telling somebody the other day, it's funny, a guy like Yngwie Malmsteen, who's gigantic, can sell out Budokan in Japan and probably and play Europe, but couldn't sell out the Waffle House in South Carolina. It's just not the way it is anymore. But hopefully with all the press we're getting and your help too, with the UK part of the show, and some of the interviews and the mags and stuff that'll be coming out soon. Maybe we can actually, instead of playing here, we can go play in Europe where people really want to bang their heads and still rock. That's where it's happening. So
it's out there. One of the things that I ran into when we were looking into doing some of that is some of the promoters are a little more hesitant if you don't actually have a release out in Europe or
sure.
Scandinavia, other than, imports and that sort of thing. But that's
Sure.
one thing sometimes they're looking for. But there's stuff out there, and there's bands touring, and they seem to be doing pretty well over there. So it's definitely worth a shot.
Well, it is. I mean, there's actually 2 labels that are based out of Europe that are interested in the Bottoms Up CD and interested in the band. So we'll see if that, produces anything for us. Hopefully something will come out of it, and we can get over there and get the stuff out. Everywhere worldwide with distribution. That's what we're hoping for. It's just time will tell. We just got to make sure that we keep writing good songs.
I don't think you're in any danger of not being able to do that based on what I've heard so far.
That's very nice. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you bet, man. And speaking of that music, I think we're going to get into another song here. Anything specifically you'd like to have me play?
I don't know. Let's do the second single, "Walking with Me," maybe.
That's a great track. We'll definitely do that. Hey, Boomer, it was great talking to you, man.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. And anytime something new comes up, don't be afraid to hit me up, and we'll get you on the air, and we'll talk about it and play some more rock and roll.
Love it. And keep supporting. Hey, keep playing Riot. You know how much I love Riot.
That's right. I forgot. I'll try and get some on the show. All right, man.
All right, brother.
All right, thanks a lot, brother. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Take care.